Okay, now we're going to get to how to actually use the guard to attack. So we're going to use the guard to attack our opponent's alignment. And as we discussed earlier, alignment consists of base, posture, and structure. So first we're going to attack base. If you don't attack somebody's alignment when you're using a guard, then you might as well go out and learn Systema and flail your limbs randomly at people and hope they fall down. The guard is a scientific position that requires us to use, as we talked about earlier, frames, levers, shifts in center of gravity, momentum to be successful against good players. First thing we're going to talk about is disrupting our opponent's base, and this can be done with direct base attacks or base manipulation, or lever-based base attacks and manipulation. Which one would you like to do first?
Why don't we go direct?
Direct. Okay, so direct, a perfect example of a direct attack on base would be the hip bump sweep from the closed guard. So if I manage to get Stefan into my closed guard, I want to start moving, manipulating his base. I'm going to push him away, sit up, and now my hips are directly going to drive into his hips, which cause him to post his hand on the mat. If I were to cover his hand and attack directly, I would sweep him. If I attack the hip bump sweep and he posts his hand, then I can hit a triangle choke. So this would be a way that I can reliably disrupt somebody's base directly.
And it's direct because you're moving my body.
I'm moving your body without the
use of a lever.
Yeah, exactly.
So what else? Yes, you can set up a triangle choke, and I want you to go through that step by step. But what else could you do having disrupted my base like that?
Anything within the sort of submission arsenal. So if I disrupt your base like this, for instance, I can come to the Kimura because now your arm is so far separated from your body that I can finish it reliably. Whereas if I had just, from this position here, sat up on a Kimura attempt, you would just posture out of it.
Right.
So because I've broken your base, you've had to recompose your base by overextending your structure. And now your posture is also somewhat vulnerable. So because I directly attacked your base, you posted your hand. When I got to the Kimura, try to posture out now, I'm able to hang off of you because of the amount of space that we've covered. So you're now in a position where you're extremely vulnerable, as we talked about earlier, because of the change in the score. We've gone from it being 3-3, where I shouldn't attack, to it being 3-2 or 3-1, where attack is very viable. So just to take you through that triangle quickly, as I disrupt Stefan's base forward, backwards, I sit up, I force him to post his hand on the mat. I'm now going to suspend myself off him because what I don't want to find myself doing is trying to throw a triangle as I drop to my back. That's unlikely to be successful. I want to keep control of Stefan's posture here. I'm going to hop up and perform what's called a hanging triangle. And bring my leg across into good position. I'm going to grab my shin. And then when I drop, I'm going to hook underneath of Stefan's arm, make a hip adjustment, and close the triangle.
So by climbing up on me, I can feel it's coming, but there's so much weight here on me that I'm screwed.
Exactly. So we've taken advantage of a few different principles here. The shift in center of gravity, which has made your arm heavy. The fact that I'm hanging off of it has made your arm heavy. The fact that you've opened your structure and I'm able to break your posture has left you vulnerable. And as you said, I can pretty much tell you that I'm going to triangle you. And there's not much you can do to stop it.
So I would imagine that this would set up, this is an example of using a disruption of base to set up all the classic closed guard submissions.
Yes.
That never ever work if you just...
They never work if you just attempt them, yes.
So the guillotine choke, the omoplata, all those things, once I'm out like this, I'm vulnerable to.
Very much so. All right, so now we're going to discuss the indirect or lever-based base disruption, which we're mostly going to use when somebody is standing, although it is possible, just quickly from the butterfly guard as we discussed earlier, to shift our hip to the side to create a disruption in base, but that's not the best example of it, so let's have Stefan standing. If I'm in the De La Riva guard, one of the best ways for me to attack base is by using my right foot on the end of the lever to his hip, pushing him away, and coming to the De La Riva sit-up sweep. I'm maintaining a frame against his knee, transferring the grip, thereby denying him the ability to post. I'm going to secure a grip on his collar, continue to push backwards as I adjust, turn him down, and bring him into a position where I can attempt to pass his guard.
So the disruption of base Was kicking my leg back.
Exactly, that would be a lever. Another simple example of this would be the single leg X entry, shin on shin style that Marcelo Garcia employs, where I use the lever to your hip to enter the single leg X, and then sweep you using the lever to your hip again.
So the initial lever to disrupt my base,
Was from your knee to your ankle. So by hugging this, I create the lever. By having a shin on shin control, I stop your ankle from coming forward, thereby lightening your leg. And by posting on your other knee, I prevent you from being able to shift your center of gravity towards me.
okay. Once again, once you've disrupted my base, that's when all your attacks open up.
Exactly.